Hello again, YouTube land. I'm going to do a pre-scripted piece because I wanted to organize my thoughts on the subject matter. So, here goes. Recently, the world found out the royals are expecting. A couple of Australian DJs decided to prank call the hospital and got through. The nurse who transferred the call subsequently killed herself. I gotta say, I sincerely wish people would stop blaming the victim. You aren't her. You did not live her life. In reality, the station and the DJs have a history of allowing this kind of act to happen. Prank calls, I mean. Besides that, here's a question you really need to stop and ask yourself. Are teen victims of bullying who commit suicide mentally sick to begin with simply because they ended up killing themselves? Not all self-inflicted actions are the result of a pre-existing mental condition. Some, if not many, I'd be so bold as to suggest, are caused by the circumstances in life we have no control over. Bullying, homelessness, unexpected severe illness, sudden loss of a loved one. The true depth of any one person's sadness can't be wiped away, explained, or even dictated by those living after they're gone. Even if this person left a note, it could not possibly contain every thought in their heads. Am I potentially biased on this issue? Yes, and I freely admit that. My own mother committed a form of slow suicide that led to her death age 44. I was 16 at the time. I had watched life destroy her and the ways, I admit, she compounded it. Is it possible something was bothering this nurse before, and this was just a sharp, sudden cliff? Of course it's possible. But assuming that that was the case, quite frankly, makes you look like a judgmental asshole in my eyes. You can't know if she was on the verge to begin with. Now, it's not fair to say the DJs are wholly responsible either, but they are the catalyst. Our society in its current form always uses mental illness as a sword and shield to explain and rationalize the acts we don't accept or understand as a group. We are stigmatizing people for having the illness at all, mistreating them for not handling it the way you would, by going to therapy or taking drugs, which take years to be effective and are incredibly costly in addition. And yet society acts surprised when this kind of thing happens. You'll hear people making these idiotic remarks like, "Poor thing, I wonder why they didn't seek help before it came to this." It doesn't matter why someone kills themselves when the person in question has no role in your own personal life. It matters that something tragic has happened. It matters that a fellow human being has felt such abject sorrow and cavernous despair that death seemed the better option. It matters that they've left behind people who did and do love them, who miss them now, who now have experienced such a tragic event. It always feels unfair when we lose a loved one, for whatever reason. But please, do us all a favor. Stop and think before you blame the victim of a self-inflicted crime. All loss of life is a crime. And I'm just going to leave it at that, because that's the entirety of what I have to say on the issue.